I forgot we were doing fans. Or did we discuss doing fans? I don't know.
I was just thinking, we're on an island. It's hot.
Yes, an island in an undisclosed part of an ocean somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't know where this was at. This was filmed. I went and did some research. You know, maybe we'll ask the person that we know on the show. We'll talk about that in a bit. But hello, players.
And the banker.
Yeah, the banker.
Oh.
Anyway, and welcome to the Cup TV, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality, and you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm Logan Murphy. I say something gay. Gay. Finally back on the podcast. It's been weird not podcasting. I'll be really honest. It's been strange. It's been weird. It's been a wild, a much needed break, but wild. Anyway, I'm drinking the last little bit of some Gatorade that I made because I got a little sick on my vacation and I'm at like 80% health, I think, at this point. I'm feeling like fine. I'm just happy to be back. That's all.
We're happy to have you back. You know, we kind of missed you a little bit.
Wow. Thanks, Lana.
You're welcome. But hello, and welcome. It's me, Lana, your resident evil diva, here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because you know I love me some tea. Purr. And if you have some tea, you know what to do. Hit me up. I am currently drinking my newest favorite thing.
Oh, obsessed.
I'm obsessed. Number one. First, I'm obsessed with this cup because it tells me I'm awesome every day.
We're
And
both serving like Tumblr vibes today,
her.
and not the app, the
No,
drinking vessel.
absolutely. But I'm drinking Sprite with iced tea and lemon juice. Like steep the iced tea bags in your Sprite. Add a little lemon juice to. It's a
If
revelation.
y'all haven't done it,
You have not. Oh, it's the best way to drink a Sprite.
and like any tea works with it. That's kind of the wild thing because I've done it with black tea, I've done it with green tea. I think I did it with white tea at some point. It's all good.
It's very good. It's so good. I think anything mixed with Sprite is delicious. Let's just be real. Because pink lemonade and Sprite, oh.
See, I wanna try the tea infusing with Squirt because that was my favorite soda growing up. And it's like similar enough to Sprite, but still very, very different. I'm like, I'm intrigued to see what the difference here would be.
Well, it's delicious. But if I was drinking anything else, I would be drinking out of my cup mug.
I'm reunited with my baby. It's cup mug.
Panel full of cup mugs. Panel full of cup mugs. But, and you can join us with this cup mug or any of our cup merch at lanagcreations.etsy.com. The link will be in the description below. And we do ship internationally and domestically here in the US. So there are no excuses. And I'm looking at all you all Deal or No Deal Island people and fans. Get your cup merch. Period.
It is the long-awaited premiere of Deal or No Deal Island. And Lana, I have to say, I did not know what to expect going into this. But I'm living. I'm living for this.
I kind of like this.
I was like, I'm very impressed by this. The main thing for me is I was like, I don't know what the format is going to be. Like, how are they? Like, we knew obviously there was going to be the Deal or No Deal part of it, and we'll talk about it. But I really like the way it's integrated into this like new format of the game. I'm intrigued. I'm excited. I'm excited to watch the rest of the season.
Yeah, I'm excited.
We were gonna watch because we know someone. We'll talk about her very shortly. But I'm loving this.
Absolutely. I just feel like it's just the perfect amount of. It's the perfect twist of Big Brother Survivor with the Deal or No Deal twist with a little bit of the challenge. So, like, it's enough of mixed up all the shows that I like, mixed in together with the twist of the game show element, which I also like. It's just, I love a good game show. I'm a huge fan of Deal or No Deal, so I was very excited that they were bringing it back. But when they added the island part to it, I was like, oh, okay. I'm intrigued. And watching this first episode, I'm intrigued.
Yeah, we'll talk about it because I want to dive into it. Before we do though, make sure to subscribe if you've not already, because we're here almost all the time giving you almost all things reality TV. And oh boy, this is the start of many reality TV specific things
Absolutely
happening very, very soon, because we've got Deal or No Deal Island. We've got Survivor 46 premiering on Wednesday. And then next week, we've got not only Big Brother Canada, but we also have Celebrity Big Brother UK, which we'll be covering in some capacity. I don't know what the capacity is going to be.
Me either.
But in some capacity, we will be covering Celebrity Big Brother UK. And then shortly after that, we've got Amazing Race as well.
Absolutely.
And I think I got all of them.
Yes.
I think so.
Thus far. And not to mention just the other stuff that we throw in on this channel too, like our wrestling podcast. And then we also have something in the works that some people are working on that maybe people will be interested in, possibly Solitary Refilled coming to the channel soon.
We got a lot of things on the horizon. Speaking of on the horizon, we've got a lot more lovely, wonderful, and fabulous exclusive content and early access for our series to come, available over on our membership page. So if you would like to become a member of the channel and join the tea room, go hit the join button over on our main channel, the Cut Pod, or you could go over to Patreon. Same content, different platform. Both of those links will be down in the description below. And you could go subscribe to that channel as well for almost all things drag. And that's ramped up, but also 2 seasons are about to end. So it's going to be a little, I'm thankful for it. I'm a little thankful. Actually, 3 seasons are about to end soon. Thankful. And we've got our Eurovision channel as well with almost all things Eurovision. And that's heating up because everybody's got like 17 days to release or choose their songs. So there's going to be a lot of song reactions over there if you're a fan of Eurovision. So with all that being said, I kind of want to start, Lana, by just talking about the format in general.
Yes, absolutely.
And our thoughts. So it's daily, I think Kim put it as excursions, I think is what they're calling them. So there's daily excursions with a winner, which is the person who gets the highest value case, and then they are immune, and then the 2 people with the lowest value cases are in the bottom 2, and then the winner of the excursion then picks one of the bottom 2 to play a fairly classic game of Deal or No Deal. With a twist where I thought it was you had to take a deal. I didn't realize you could still just keep your case at the end. So I was a little confused by the end of the episode about it.
I mean, it's still taking the deal. It's just making your case is your deal.
The deal is the case you chose.
Exactly.
So
it's still the same.
Yeah. And again, like I said at the start, I didn't know what to expect from this format. I really like it because it feels like It feels like Survivor meets Big Brother with this like Deal or No Deal twist.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fan.
I am too. I like it. I like the format. I like how it plays out. I like how this episode played out. Nothing felt rushed or out of the ordinary, like confusing. Like the twist wasn't such a twist where I'm like, what does this even mean? Now that could change. It could be different, more twists happening that we don't know about. But for
we
this,
saw at least one of them in the preview trailer for the season at the very end of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but for this episode, everything was very straightforward and very much like, okay, I kind of like this. I'm digging it. It did just enough to hook me into being interested into what is to come. And if twist does happen, I'm too involved now to turn back and be like, I ain't watching more.
And if we hate the twist, we'll just come on here and complain about it.
Absolutely.
So let's take a look at our gorgeous cast here. Oh no, I gotta take down the ticker banner because Aaron is getting blocked, and you put in too much work to get Aaron's name right on here to not show it. Also, I want to get this out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, here at the Cup, we do our best to be as unbiased and objective about all of these people as we can be. And I'm keeping an open mind about everybody. And right now I'm supporting everybody on this cast. However, we here at the Cup, and I don't like to speak for Lana very often, but in this moment I will. This is a podcast biased toward Kim Mattina.
Yeah.
We both know Kim very well.
Yeah.
We come from the same community of online reality games. We come from the same community as Kim. That's how we met. And Kim got you into playing, right?
Absolutely. She was the reason I started playing in the first place.
And she was one of my biggest supporters when I started. So I have to be honest, when the intro started and Kim got her little moment, I teared up.
I was clapping. I was smiling so bright. I just,
because I love Kim.
You've actually met Kim, right?
I haven't met Kim. No.
But y'all live in the same.
She's an hour. She's in Phoenix, so she's an hour and a half north. I will at some point, probably. I'm in Phoenix all the time. But no, I've never actually met Kim. But it seems like she might be playing the villain on this season, which, hey, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. But what y'all also need to know about knowing Kim is that she is one of the most supportive people.
Yes, absolutely.
She is one of the most supportive people I've ever met. And like if she is invested in you, she's going to make sure that she is good and that she makes sure that you know you're seen and heard. And that's what I love the most about Kim Mattina. Like, I adore this woman. I am so happy that she is finally getting a spot on a national televised reality program, and that there's finally a woman from our damn community.
Period.
Because everybody else that has come out of our damn community is a white man or a white masculine presenting person or something along those lines. So I'm thankful that we have a woman. And if it was going to be, there's a lot of people it could be, but I'm very happy that it's Kim.
Oh, me too. Me too. Yeah. Love me some Kim Mattina, by the way. She definitely, I was so excited for her when I found out she was on the show. So I was like, oh, we're definitely watching it. I was definitely watching it, even if we weren't going to talk about it, because I was like, at this point, we didn't know if anybody else would want to talk about it, because I hadn't talked to Logan. And I was like, I don't know if Logan wants to watch it, and I didn't want to do it by myself, even though I would, because I don't mind doing stuff by myself. But Logan was just as interested, and so we're like, oh, we're definitely doing it. And she gave me what I knew Kim would give us in this episode.
She did what needed to be done.
Period.
I'm Kim Matina's on TV, Lana.
Yeah.
Can you believe it? Yes, actually,
Yes.
I can.
Absolutely.
I can. I also want to talk about the Boston Rob shaped elephant in the room. Boston Rob is here. And, I am always going to be the kind of person, I respect Rob, and I think he is one of the best people to play televised reality competition shows.
Mm-hmm.
I do think, I will always have respect for Boston Rob. He's just never been my favorite person. He's just never been my favorite person. Major respect.
Right.
Just, I wouldn't name him as one of my top 10 or even top 20 favorite Survivor players of all time.
Right.
Like,
I think I agree. I think everything you said is accurate. Like, I respect him as somebody who's been on a show that I watched. He is good most of the time at what he does in these games. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. He's not my favorite person in the world. To talk, on the show, but he's here. He's honestly, I don't want him to stick around a long time, but I think he will because he always does, and people just won't. But I feel like maybe with this group of people, they kind of be more on the because more of them said something like, "Oh yeah, he gotta go," than normal. Hopefully that happens, but I don't know.
I was gonna say, hasn't that happened every other time Boston Rob has played Survivor or Amazing Race for that matter?
Yeah, right.
Everyone's like, Boston Rob needs to go. And then and that's part of his social strategic prowess is that he can come in with literally the world's biggest target and will still probably make it to the end of this show.
Right.
If he wins, I'll be a little upset, I'll be honest. But if he played a game worth winning, then I can't be upset about it because, it's Boston Rob.
Absolutely.
So it's like how I felt with Traders when Trader season 1, where I was like, I love Cirie. Right. And if she makes it to the end of the game, it's because she deserved it because she's Cirie.
Absolutely.
Thankfully, Cirie now finally has her win. So I'm very happy about that.
Right.
But, and then Claudia's lovely. A former Deal or No Deal case model.
I was very happy to see her.
Yeah.
I thought that was a good nod to the original without it being obvious, like Howie. Like she was one of the very noticeable, for regular case girls on the show.
I remembered her when they started popping up with her intro package. I was like, yes, I remembered her.
The second she popped up, I was like, oh, she was a case girl. I remember her as a case girl, and then I also remember her from Real Housewives of Atlanta.
She was on one season of
Real Housewives of Atlanta, and so I was like, oh, this Claudia, she's so good. Like, she is one of the famouser case girls outside of Meghan Markle. It's it's Meghan Markle and then it's Claudia. She was one of her and another one that because I knew her as Layla because she was also in WWE. She was so and I was like, I know her too. So those are the bigger ones. I recognize them.
Yeah. I will be honest though, I wish we got a little bit more screen time from some other people in this episode. It felt very, for obvious reasons, it felt very Aaron heavy, very Branson heavy, Rob heavy, Kim heavy. I would have liked to see a little bit more of Jamil, and obviously we have a whole season still, but I would have liked to see a little bit more of Jamil. It seems like we'll get a lot more of Alyssa, which I'm excited about. It seems like Alyssa is going to stir the pot, and I'm excited to see it. Miranda, I was like, who? And that's no shade to her. It's just they under-edited her. I think she seems lovely, but under-edited.
I think with this show, though, I think everybody will have their moment because either you're going to be in the spotlight because you did the best like
Yeah.
Kim, you have immunity, or you're going to be in the spotlight because you're going to do something to make the person who has the choice decide to choose you instead of the other person. And then if they win the deal, or if they win the deal, they might choose, like we saw in this episode, a person was very much the star because of their actions. So I think with this show, we'll have more of a chance to see more and more people along the way. But I think, I don't think it's gonna be like Survivor. Like, I don't think you can get the no edit. Like, I don't think anybody's gonna be able to be purple in this episode.
Especially with only 13 people on the cast.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so do we know, with 13 people and presumably a single elimination an episode, I'm gonna assume 10 episodes?
I'm guessing.
Maybe? I don't know. I don't know.
It might be some doubles. Who knows?
Like, NBC and Peacock like to do 10 episode seasons. That seems to be their MO. So, also, the one-liner queen, I think we're gonna see some great one-liners out of her all season. Amy. Amy was coming in with some quips, being like, I'll talk about her when we get to the Deal or No Deal part. But I found myself laughing at her a lot throughout the episode. I was like, you get it, girl. But they drive in on their ATVs. They're walking up the beach, and they meet Joe Manganiello, who is the host. I think charismatic enough to pull off the hosting role of this. Like, I'm not mad at Joe being there. Also, I've established our official Deal or No Deal Island drinking game. Drink every time Kim says, Joe is so hot. Joe is so hot. And, like, I agree with you, Kim.
Absolutely.
But also, darling, they showed you saying it, 6 times this episode alone?
She can't help that he hot. He hot.
I don't remember who it was in the shower, but she's just, like, standing by the shower. She's like, Joe's really hot.
And it was Miranda.
I think it was Miranda.
And she was like, he's not my type.
Right. And she was like, but he's so hot, right? This is why I love Kim Matina.
Period.
Oh my god. But yes, so we find out the excursion. We find out the format, which we kind of already touched on a little bit. And then we see one of the banker's assistants drop cases out of a helicopter. Sure. Why not? Like,
work.
Okay, work.
It was the banker's helicopter, though, because you saw the helicopter just on the yacht later on in the episode. Because
I have a lot of things to say about that yacht later on. We'll talk about it. Is it real? Who knows? But so she's dropping Kamari is her name? Kamari and Ben.
Yep.
Both were lovely.
Gorgeous people.
It was a nice change of pace also to have a male case opener as well. I was like, I like that. And they both seem very charismatic and attractive looking people. So sure.
Absolutely good looking people.
So then they have to run into the jungle. And they go on a spa day, Lana, from hell. Because then they have to jump into the mud, grab a case, and that's how they're
value on it.
Yes, and they're all between. I think it was 150
to 1,000 to 1,000,000.
Yes. So you have to go through, get all of those, but then there's also 2 red cases. Where one of them has automatically the lowest amount.
Yes.
And the other one is a steel case.
Yes. Which means you can steal someone else's case so you won't have the lowest number if you think you have the lowest number.
That part. So we do this. Everybody's running. And oh, my dear Kim.
Oh, my sweet Kim. Kim is 62 years old, y'all. I don't know what y'all thought y'all was gonna get her running through some mud and making her run through all this stuff because baby, at 45, I'm not doing it. I would have been just like Kim. I would have been like, I'm stuck.
At
Help.
26, I don't think I could have made it through.
I'm like, I'm stuck.
You know what this reminded me of, though?
Oh God,
It
I know.
it
I know what you're about
it
to say.
reminded me of when Kathy got stuck.
I knew you were gonna say Kathy. I knew you were gonna bring up Kathy in that honey. I knew you were gonna bring up Kathy in that honey, girl.
Honey.
I knew you were gonna bring that up.
And what makes that story even better to this day is that Brittany confirmed that not only did they get her out of the honey, but then she stuck herself back in the honey again. That is hands down one of my favorite pieces of knowledge that I have about Big Brother. I can't help but relate that to this situation.
Kim would appreciate that analogy because, as we found
so.
out later, she is a huge reality TV junkie,
including Survivor. We'll talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone's going through. They're getting their cases. I literally everyone has their case, and Kim is still trying to get out of the mud at the entrance.
At the entrance way.
So she's going through. And I was very happy to see that everyone kind of pulled her up, that we got some assistance.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Jordan got her a case, which, hey, thank you, Jordan.
Thank you, girl.
And also, can we talk about how there are 3 fabulous Black women on this cast?
Mm-hmm.
Fabulous.
Absolutely.
I was like, yes. Period.
Work.
But Jordan gets her a case. A bunch of the guys pull her up. But at this point, no one had taken a red case.
And you know who didn't like that?
The banker.
He ain't like that at all.
No.
He said, what the heck did I make these beautiful red cases for if nobody's going to grab them? So how do I make someone grab it? Oh, I know.
By offering immediate money.
Right now, you get $10,000 guaranteed. That's yours if you go get the case. I would have went and got the case too.
And you know who else wanted to get the case? Kim Messina.
Because she knew she had the lowest amount. She was like,
oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to go get a case. So Rob is now like, we just pulled her out this mud. Now she going back in the mud? Like,
yes, Rob, because if you were in her scenario, you'd do the same thing.
Absolutely.
A 50-50 shot of not being in the bottom is better than guaranteeing you're in the bottom.
And let me talk about Rob for a second. Because this is where I was like, you know what? This is the Rob that I don't like. Because he act like he's so holier than thou and better than everybody in this game. He grabs this case. He has a $500,000 case. No, $600,000 case. Yeah. He has a $600,000 case. And he has the case, and he's holding the case close so nobody sees what he has. Stephanie comes by, and he's like, what you got? And she was like, what you got? And he like, I mean, what you got? She's like, what are you? 200,000. She's like, 200,000. He was like, she said, what you got? He was like, 275,000. And he like, She like, and he like, I know she lying. How? Like, I know she lying to me. I can't trust her. She got to go. I know she lying, and I can't trust her. I'm like, bruh, you doing the exact same thing. So if you can't trust her, she can't trust you. So what? But now she ain't trustworthy because she lied to you. She lied straight to my face. So did you. Like, bruh.
It really is that holier than thou that you talk, like, it's really that for me. It's like, yes, we know, Rob, you've been on what, 8 seasons
of shows,
reality TV? You've only
but,
won once. There's a reason why.
Because this attitude. You think
You
you're so
ended
much
up on
better
a
than
season that
anyone.
was rigged for you with a bunch of sheep.
Ooh.
No shade, but that's just fact. It was a very dominant play of a season amongst a lot of sheep. But facts are facts. Like, that's what it is. This is not a cast of sheep.
Nope.
And I'm pretty sure Stephanie is also someone who knows who you are. Whether she's explicitly said that or not, if you watch competition reality shows and you aren't at all vaguely familiar with Boston Rob, then I don't know what competition shows you're watching. I'm going to be honest. Unless you're just watching, I don't know, The Bachelor,
Top Chef,
and Top Chef.
Shops.
Like, if you're in that realm, okay, sure, I get it. But if you're watching anything else, then you have to know at least the name Boston Rob.
Mm-hmm.
That enough is a target in itself. So I'm just like, I need him when he's the most authentic of himself. He's not that, like, horrible to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But when he's doing all of this extraness, that's where I'm just like, no, thank you.
That's just like, you, sir. I don't know what you acting like. You ain't just doing the same thing she doing, but okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Now, the other thing that frustrated me a little bit, not really frustrated, but I thought was interesting. So Kim says, oh, I'm going to go for the red case, and asks Joe, is there a time limit?
Mm-hmm.
And Joe is like, we'll wait for you as long as we need.
Right.
So she goes out. And then Branson, I think having fully pure intentions in this moment, also dives in, only to get one of the red cases closer for Kim, but didn't explicitly say that.
Right.
And so if he had been like, I'm going to jump in, but only to make sure that she can get a case quickly so we can all just get out of this mud.
Right.
If he had said that, I don't think he would have had a single target on his back. Right. But the fact that he just asked, is there a limit to how many people want it? I think he might have dove in with the intention of grabbing one. And then looked back, saw how everyone was like, and might have faked it. I don't know. I don't know what the intention was there originally. But the outcome ends up being that he just grabbed the case for Kim so it's closer for her and goes back up with his original case, which was, like, I think solidly in the middle. And that's kind of where Branson falls into a spiral.
He effed up in that moment.
I think it just wasn't, either tell everyone what your intention is and that your intention is, I'm going to make sure she gets a case so that way we can all, like, expedite this process and go take a shower because I know none of us want to be covered in mud right now.
Right.
Or just wait it out with everybody else. Let her take as long as she needs to.
Absolutely.
Once she gets the case, be like, hey, should we go help pull her in again?
Right. I don't know. I just feel like it's but here's the thing. She wasn't going for the same case he went to get. So if he would have just left it be and let her go out and get it, it would have been Kim in the bottom.
And hey, you know what, Branson? Thank you.
Thank you
for your noble sacrifice to the cause that is Kim Matini.
Absolutely. You're a good
man. Not
man.
that she's a cause, she's a person, but to the betterment of Kim Mattina in this competition.
Right. I appreciate you.
Thankful for that, for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So Kim gets back finally with her case. And she opens the case first.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the steal. Yay, Kim.
Woo.
I'm currently supporting everyone in this cast, but Kim. Yes. Thrilled for Kim. And that's kind of exactly what she needed.
Yes.
I'm curious. Maybe potentially did production like maybe swap out one of them so that way it was a guaranteed steal because they wanted the steal to be used?
Who knows? Who cares? Kim got it.
Who cares? Kim has it.
But here's the thing, and this is where I just fell in love with the way Kim played, because Kim played this like she played this is very org. This was very org.
This is very Sequester Live.
Very right, very org coded. She was like, so whoever has the $1 million case, I will guarantee that you will not have to play you won't be in the bottom. You won't have to play Deal or No Deal.
Because whoever she steals from, they're automatically in the bottom.
At the bottom, exactly. So she was like, whoever has the $1 million case, I will guarantee that you will not have to play and you will be safe. And she says this in front of everybody, so she can't go back on her word. Nobody's going to be looking at her crazy. And the person who has the $1 million case is kind of like, I can take this deal knowing I'm safe and I'll still be able to do this another day. And so Dawson, who has the $1 million case, is like, I think that's a deal I need to accept. And he was like, I have it. And so Kim has now the $1 million case in her possession, and Dawson is at the end. And so now they go through who had to find out who has the lowest amount of money. So Kim is immune, and she gets immunity from this. And I'm like, wow, Kim, purr.
So I just wanted to put up the Kim banner before we moved any further because Kim.
I mean, yes. We have immune Kim. That means we will be seeing Kim in the next episode. So that's all. It's good for me.
We already knew we were going to see Kim in at least.
Absolutely.
I'm going to go ahead and say I think at least 2 more episodes.
I think so.
We see her in at least 2 more excursions.
I think so. So,
thank you very much.
Period. So Kim's immune, and Dawson is at the bottom. So we start opening cases, and we go through all the cases and come to find out dear sweet little Aaron has the lowest amount. So it's going to be Aaron and Dawson are the bottom 2. But with the way Kim had just made this plan, everybody knew that Aaron was going to be the one to have to play Deal or No Deal. Aaron, our accountant, Aaron, our little person who just doesn't even go out in the sun, doesn't like
Pokemon.
Our Pokemon, Aaron.
Like his name is spelled like the Pokemon.
And I know you just fell in love with him right then in that moment.
I'm going to be honest. I went on a journey with Aaron in this episode. I'm going to be honest. Because when they're driving in, I was like, oh, I find him a little bit annoying. And then, I'm judging him off of the character presented in this edited program that we've seen 1 episode of. So, like, I have nothing else to go off of, really. But I was like, he's a little annoying. And then I think he was just a little insecure throughout the first part of the episode. And once we get to the Deal or No Deal later, and we'll talk about it, he feels a lot more confident. And I was like, I like this Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I enjoy this Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he was talking about potentially blindsiding Boston Rob, I was like, I like this Aaron.
I really like this Aaron. I really like that Aaron. Yeah, for sure. But we go back to they leave the area and they're ready to go find out where they're going to be staying. And I was like, what are they going to have them do? What is this?
I thought it was going to be Survivor. I'm going to be
right.
honest.
I was like, make a shelter.
Make a shelter. All right, Rob, you've done this 6 times. Let's go make a shelter.
Right. But no, it was not. They turned the corner and baby, it's these big, huge glam tents with actual showers and
Very
great shower, like 4 stalls of showers. Every room has 2, 3 beds in it, and these nice luxury tents. They got beds and bedding. And then they have a place where the food, they have a little cafeteria area where
right.
the food is gonna be served. And I was like, and Rob is over the moon because he was expecting this is gonna be like Survivor all over again. I'm gonna sleep outside, I'm gonna have bugs eating on me, da 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 da. No, this is a mini vacation. It was like you get a nice view of the water. The yacht is out in the water, so you get to look at the yacht as it's sailing by. It was beautiful. I was like, oh, I could do this. Oh, I could do this. Because at first, I don't do survival stuff, so I'm like, nah, I wouldn't be able to do no out. This I can do. This is like a glamping trip.
It's very Survivor reward.
Absolutely. And this is just, they get this reward all the time. So I actually could do this. I was like, oh, I can sign up for this show.
Exactly. I'm like, now this. I can't do Survivor, but this?
No, this I might can do.
Maybe. It's a little less Big Brother. I know I said Survivor meets Big Brother at the start. It's more Survivor meets the challenge.
I mean, the Big Brother aspect of it all is the living together and the strategy because you have to stay with each other.
Also a little challenge. It's a little challenge.
Little challenge, yeah.
But yeah,
I think
so then
we're going to get. I think. I'm sorry, I've been cut you, but I think we're going to get more Big Brother element next week because we see some. It almost looks like somebody's going to be like a head of household type of person. Yeah. So I'm kind of like, oh,
there's like a banker's menu or something like
leader
that.
Or banker, something like that. Something.
I'm intrigued and excited. So we then get, they're winding down on the first day. Everyone's getting to know each other. Rob hates this part because he thinks that everyone is going to find out that he was on Survivor.
Like, they know. Somebody know. Aaron just told you who you were. He knew who you were.
Apparently, who was it? Jordan? I think it was. Mm-hmm. Was Jordan or Miranda was like, what? So Kim is like, oh, I'm a fan of all of these reality shows. Big Brother, Top Chef. And then I think it's Aaron goes, Survivor?
No, it was Branson.
Oh, was it Branson?
It was like Survivor. She's like, yes, Survivor. I knew.
And then Aaron is like, so Boston Rob. That's what I was mixing up. And she was like, oh, I'm very familiar with the work of Boston Rob. And then one of the ladies was like, what?
All that
like,
was
it all Branson?
All Branson did that on purpose.
Well, yeah, obviously.
But that was all Branson. Branson brought up Survivor. Branson made sure she mentioned Boston Rob, and because he wanted the heat off of him for what he did with the red case. He said that in his confessional. Like, yeah, I did. I wanted it off of me. So it was all Branson. And then Kim took that and ran with it. It was like, yeah, no, Ross. I knew immediately who he was. He won Survivor, and he's a great player. He's been on Survivor 6 times or 4 times or something like that. And it was just like, wow. And Boston Rob was fuming. He was like, okay, Branson, I see what you're doing, but why is this old lady telling all my business? And I was like, first of all, watch your mouth. Don't call Kim an old lady. Second of all,
how dare you come for Kim Mattina like that?
I was like, first of all, not too much. Second of all, I don't know how you thought you was going to walk up in here and nobody know who you were. I don't know. Like, for what reason? For what reason did you think people on a reality show who are fans of a reality show wouldn't know who you were? That don't make no sense. Like, you was just gonna keep quiet and not say nothing, but you ain't think nobody who recognized who you. No, don't. I don't understand that at all. Like, come on. So of course, Kim tells all his business. I'm like, good, because he wasn't saying nothing. So good on you, Kim.
And then he's like, Kim is the most dangerous person in this game. And I'm like, you are correct.
You are correct.
However, comma.
Watch your mouth. Not too much.
Tina.
Keep her name out your mouth.
Looking at you, Rob.
But he was too busy focusing on his not trusting Stephanie to really stick with the whole Kim of it all. So his whole focus was that Stephanie lied to him. I'm like, although you lied to her, but that's okay for you, huh?
I'm not going to say anything at this moment.
But it feels very cold to me.
However, comma.
I'm thinking it.
I'm also, if he starts to go for specifically 2 other people on this cast, I'm thinking about it as well.
But just know it's right there. But I ain't gonna say it though.
Because if he plays the way that he normally does, I'm just going to be real and say it. If he plays the way he normally does, he's going to snatch up one of probably Amy, Alyssa, or Miranda, make them his number one, and take out all the other women. Because that's what Boston Rob does.
And it's looking like Miranda or Alyssa. Yeah.
But this is kind of where there's a lot of strategy talk, and yet there's also no strategy talk. Because simultaneously you have Aaron kind of tackling with, okay, well, I know I'm going in, which I think is an advantage in this scenario. Like, you know for sure, unless Kim pulls a wild fast one for no reason, which does not make sense in this scope whatsoever. Absolutely. It does not make sense for Kim to go against what she said in front of everyone. Like, and Kim knows better than to go back on her word in that regard.
Absolutely.
So he knows he's going in. He's like, okay, so do I go after Branson, who is now kind of public enemy number 1? Do I go after Rob because I know he's a big threat? Like, what do I do in that scenario? Rob comes up because they've connected, and he's like, but what about Stephanie, though? And I appreciate that Aaron kind of just shut this down immediately and was like, you know, I think that's a decent idea. However, she's very well liked right now. I don't want that blood on my hands.
And he knew Stephanie could possibly be an ally for him. And so he's kind of like, that would not do anything for my game because I have no reason not to trust her. But it'll do everything for your game because apparently you're stuck and fixated with not trusting her. And it just kind of but the only reason, here's the thing, Boston Rob bringing up Stephanie is the only reason Aaron thought to try to maybe possibly get rid of Rob instead. He was not even thinking about going against Rob in this moment. It wasn't until Rob was like, let's change the plan. Because if Branson is public enemy number 1, why do we need to get rid of him? Because he'll always be somebody who they want to get rid of before us. So let's get rid of Stephanie. And Aaron is like, oh, so you playing like that right now, doing that off the cop. And then you're not looking out for me because Stephanie is somebody who could work for me. And you want me to cut off a number that could possibly be for me. That's not a game, a ally relationship. We're not looking out for each other. You're looking out for you. So in that moment, it was Aaron was like, well, maybe I should get rid of Boston Rob because he's a big threat and he can, and I was like, I don't know. And I was like, work.
I'm thankful he has it in his mind. I would have preferred that he acted on it in this episode. However, I'm happy that he has it in his mind.
Right.
So while all of this is happening, Branson is continuing his spiral.
Yes.
By doubling and tripling down and using a lot of hand gestures and is getting very emotional about the fact that he was just trying to help Kim.
No bad intentions.
And I love the cutaway shot where you can't hear what he's saying in the ocean with everybody else, but all you see is everyone else looking at him like, while he's like, hand gestures. That.
And then he says, I might have made a mistake doing that. And Claudia was like, you absolutely did.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, oh. Word. Queen of, I'm going to tell you the truth. Like,
Queen of, she comes from the housewives world, and that's how she's going to treat this competition. Like, that's really what it is, I feel like.
I love it. I love it.
I do too. But
also we failed to talk about also when they were doing their introductions and things. Miss Amy had a moment where she was looking at Claudia like, she might have to go, because she was like, I'm not a model. I'm not famous. I'm not coming here for a vacation.
yeah,
I'm here because I need the money. I'm like, you don't know what Claudia needs. She probably needs the money too, because honestly, we ain't seen Claudia do nothing since she left the Housewives.
her Wikipedia page is pretty stacked. Like, she's had some TV stuff. I will say, I do understand where Amy is coming from.
Mm-hmm.
I don't love the sentiment in the way that she presented it, but like the fundamental idea of it, I understand. But I also understand Claudia's point and your point as well. Like, who knows what Claudia is dealing with right now? Who knows where her life is at this moment in time? And she said, oh, I was a case model on here for 4 seasons. I always wanted to experience
exactly
what it was like to be a contestant. I love that for her.
I love that for her. And that's like, that's no shade, no tea. Like,
if
that's
she
not
had
a
been a
bad
prior
thing.
contestant and won or something like that,
Yes.
that's probably something else. Because as much as I would like to think that the case models got paid a bunch of money to do that, for a fact they did not.
They did not.
For a fact they did not get paid very well at all. You know that for a fact.
They didn't.
Oh, so I get Claudia, and I'm happy Claudia's getting to live out her dream of being a contestant on Deal or No Deal, kind of, sort of. But I get Amy's point of like, she's already if she was saying that about Boston Rob, then yeah, obviously I would feel the same way. And I get the sentiment for sure. I just, I don't agree with that one, specifically when it comes to Claudia.
Right.
I get it. I get the sentiment for sure. So
I get it. I mean, but then we heard people I think it was either Alyssa or Jordan. One of them did mention about Rob saying that you done already won. Like, what you here for? You on vacation. If you wanted a vacation, you can go with your family.
I think it was Jordan.
And she was like, you don't need to be here. So Boston Rob might have to go. I think it was Jordan.
I'm still learning names. Like, especially the people that didn't get as much screen time this episode. Mm-hmm. That's why I like having the cast graphic. But even then, still, I'm like, I don't remember who exactly said that in the episode. Like,
but I think it was definitely Jordan in that moment.
I think it was Jordan in that moment. So,
but honestly, nothing really else actually happened. Branson does talk to Aaron and tries to smooth over and try to convince him not to pick him if he wins, because
by
he's like
offering 3 weeks
of safety. I was like, bruh, this is the first week. You need to be offering your life. Like, I will protect you in this game until the very end. Like, I will ride with you till the wheels fall off. Even if you don't mean it, you need to say it. You have to say that. It's week 1, and you offer him 3 weeks when you just put him in the predicament that he's in right now. You did that, and you gonna offer him 3 weeks? No. I was like, ugh. I would have looked at him like Aaron did too. Like, okay, we'll talk. I'll think about it. Then he walked away and like, child, you don't get out of here with that 3 weeks. You might as well say she was gonna give me 1 week. Get out of here.
You might as well have said, I'll see you around.
Right.
I'll see you at some point. Maybe we could do something, but
further on down the line.
When we get to Final Four, I'll protect you then. Final Four, yeah. I'll see you there.
Child, that was the worst move ever.
Because then we go, yeah, I was like, there's nothing else,
No,
really.
because we go to the deal.
Let's go play Deal or No Deal, Lana. This was cute. So it's a bit of a pared down version of the game. It's very similar, which I was happy to see.
Mm-hmm.
So we
It's
get there.
20 cases.
Yeah, 20 cases as opposed to the original, which was 24.
Yes, 25.
Was it 25?
I think it was 25.
I thought it was an even number.
Or was it 26?
26?
26.
26, I think.
26 cases. Yeah.
So we go. Kim has immunity. Obviously, we already know Erin's going in because she gave her word, blah, blah, blah. I think the Kim Dawson connection, I think, could actually do really, really well for Kim. And I hope that she keeps Dawson in her back pocket now.
Absolutely.
Because given this, Dawson's not going to think about trying to take out Kim.
No.
Because A, she's not a competitive. She's not going to do very well in physical competitions whatsoever. We already saw that. B, she kept her word.
Absolutely.
And Dawson, for me, reads as the kind of person who is, and I think he even says or alludes to this, that having someone's word and having them like stay true to that is very important to him. And so I think it was the best possible move that A, Dawson had the $1 million case, and B, that Kim stole it and kept him safe.
Absolutely.
I don't think Kim necessarily would have picked Erin in any other really scenario.
No.
But I'm happy that it was Dawson. I don't think she would have picked necessarily Dawson either. I don't know. Who knows what would have happened in that scenario? But I'm glad she now has Dawson in her pocket if needed. So we go to the Deal or No Deal, and we start opening cases.
It's classic Deal or No Deal, and it was very good. It was just like any other episode of Deal or No that you watched, and he went back and forth. He was doing really good and had hitting the low numbers. Then he hit a spot where he was hitting all the high numbers, and it was like his first offer was like $45,000, and they were like, "Man, get out of here with that $45,000."
So the whole deal with this is, you either have to. I thought originally, and again, I was a little confused going into the Deal or No Deal part. I thought you had to take a deal, but apparently it's like whatever you end up taking or the case that you have, whatever that value is higher
than what you end up with.
The alternative,
yes,
be it the last offer you had or the case that you had, which whatever the opposite is of what you ended up with. If it's higher, then you are safe and you get to eliminate anyone who doesn't have immunity.
Absolutely. Which is
I love that.
Nobody's safe.
Really ramps except for Kim in this case. Except for Kim. In this one episode, except for Kim. And if your amount is lower than whatever the amount is, then you automatically get eliminated.
Yeah, like oof. Either you win or you go home.
I like that it's kind of high risk, high reward. I really like that about it because that feels very true to the original.
Yeah. And he picked case number 10, by the way. He picked his girlfriend's birthday's case number 10.
Which is also my birth date.
Absolutely. So he picked
probably what I would pick if I was on Deal or No Deal.
I would have picked 12 and I would have had $50 because that was
I would have had 600,000. So I'll take it.
So
I don't remember. What was in 5? Because that's the other one I typically go for.
Oh, I can't remember. I only remember the ones that made sense to the thing.
Was 5 one of the last ones?
No, it was 4 and 8.
4 and 8. Okay, yeah. So he's going through, and I was like, of 20 cases to eliminate 8 in the first round it was a little jarring. I'm going to be honest. I was like, oh.
Yeah. He had to go 8 and then 7, and then it was 2.
I was like,
ooh.
I was like, I was expecting a few more offers. I'll be honest.
But they have to move this along. You can't do that. Like it's at the end of another whatever happened at the beginning. So they had a whole lot, and then this needs to be like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
This is a very.
I'm thinking maybe something like a 7 and a 5 or something. Keep the suspense alive a little bit longer.
I don't need it. I mean, they needed an abbreviated version of the Deal or No Deal, because Deal or No Deal can take an hour, because of
We've seen it take an hour.
You've seen it take an hour, and you're thinking about it, and you have to figure out.
I don't know. What do
No,
you think? I don't
anybody else?
know. Do I
Should I
think
phone
it's
a friend?
real? Yeah.
Right.
So,
So yeah, they got to move it along.
So he doesn't take any of the first deals.
No.
And it comes down to he's got 600,000, he's got 400,000, and he's got 75.
Yeah.
And what I loved in this whole spread, and this might have been my favorite moment of the episode, is at one point he runs out of birth dates of women in his family, which did very well for him. Switches over to male members of his family and flops. And I'm like, okay, well then just keep going with numbers of women in your family. That's clearly he couldn't remember them.
He said, I don't remember the women in my family's name, which I get.
Real. So real.
That was relatable.
So relatable. So relatable. But at one point I think in the second round, he's like, any thoughts from the gallery? And this is where Amy goes,
my birthday's on the 14th.
My birthday's on the 14th. But if it's a high number, don't hate me. Don't come for me. And then it's like $50 or something. Yeah, and she was like it was a low $10.
It was $10.
It was a low amount on the left side of the board. And she goes, yay! Don't ask me any more questions. I don't have any more.
Yeah. It was literally $10.
I loved her in this.
Yeah, she was funny. And then we had a moment where he was like, I think it came down to those 3. And Claudia was like, I'm feeling whatever other number. I think it was 19. She was like, it's just the odds are in this. Like, she gave him a number. No, she said 3. 3. She's like, I'm feeling 3. You should take 3. And he was like, okay. And it was the penny. And she was like, yes.
And then she does it again.
Did it again.
When it's 3 cases left.
And it was the $75 case. I was like, Claudia, she actually, like, this Deal or No Deal thing is real. Like, playing on this.
And here's the thing. If I'm on this show and I know that there's a former Deal or No Deal case model on here, I am making her my best friend.
Absolutely.
I'm making her my best friend. She has the most advantage.
The knowledge.
She has the most knowledge of this. Having been on for, I think it was 4 seasons.
4 seasons.
I don't know how long those seasons are. So that could be somewhere close to 100 episodes of Deal or No Deal.
Yeah.
She's seen this play out hundreds of times, at least. Like, I'm making Claudia my best friend.
Absolutely. I want to pick her brain for everything she can give me. And she did it. And I was like, wow.
So it comes down to 600,000 and 400,000. And his offer is 445. The banker's offer is 445. And he ends up not taking it.
Yes.
And I was like, oh God, here we go. I was a little nervous. And in this scenario, I don't know about you, Lana. I don't know if I'm just over gaming this in my head, but for me, I would maybe like keep a couple of the higher amounts on the board, but I would want to keep the lower amounts too. And I think this strategy feels a little bit more self-servient than it does like the group pot, because whatever they win these, regardless of if they go home or not, that money goes into the overall pot that one person will win at the end.
Yes.
So it's like, for me, I'm like, I maybe want to like knock out a lot of those higher values. Still have a couple of like the big ones.
Yes.
But for my personal odds, I maybe want the odds to be a little bit more that there's some lower numbers. So that way, just in case, if I take a deal.
And I got $75 in my case.
Exactly. I'm like, I have a better shot of beating what's in my case.
Right.
I don't know if that's metagaming it, but like that's kind of the strategy that I would think of.
I mean, it is a good strategy, but then it's also how do you can't really game what you pick, because you're just like picking randomly. And
exactly. But if I'm in that scenario, like, I don't know. If I'm in that scenario, I would want to like maybe hope It's not more strategy. It's more so hope.
Yes.
That maybe like the banker gives me a decent offer, I take it, and it's higher than what's in my case by like, and there's like over a 50% chance that it's higher than what's in my case if I'm not going to take my case. You know what I mean? Like that's where I'm going from. But thankfully for Aaron, he did not take his deal, and his case had $600,000 in it, so the pot automatically goes up to $600,000.
Yep.
Incredible.
Absolutely.
And now he has the power to eliminate someone. And based on the confessionals before the elimination, I was like, oh, so it's not going to be Rob.
Yeah, no.
I was holding out a sliver of hope that it would be Rob. Not Rob. And all we hear is Branson talking about wanting to be safe and Rob talking about wanting to get rid of Stephanie still. And that is for nothing at this point because Aaron decides to eliminate Branson. Is that the best strategic move at this point? Honestly, I maybe would have thought about what Rob said.
I mean, but I would have took out Rob instead because
I also would have taken out Rob, but I would have kept Branson only to like because what Rob said about keeping Branson around, and the whole reason he shifted his strategy onto Stephanie was because Branson is now a huge target. And most people, without thinking, are going to take out Branson if he ends up in the bottom. Or if he doesn't win immunity, more likely. If he doesn't win immunity and they win the deal or no deal, if they get a good deal, then they're going to take out Branson because he's this big threat.
So who would you have taken out, Logan?
Rob.
Oh.
Rob, absolutely. I would have taken out Rob because he's a huge threat, kept Branson around because then that's a shield in front of me.
Absolutely.
That's what I would have done.
Absolutely.
But
and it would have made Aaron look like he's here to play this game and folks would be thinking twice about putting him back in that bottom.
Yeah. Or if I'm trying to, I probably wouldn't do this. But if I'm trying to cut off like a connection to Kim per se, maybe Dawson would have been the only other person that I like think about. But I still would have done Rob.
Yeah.
Still would have done Rob. But Branson goes back to playing poker with his wife and his children that he talked about all episode because we had to get his story in because it's the only episode he's in.
Absolutely.
So
Bye, Branson.
Bye, Branson. But and then we get the season preview trailer, which some fun moments. I'm excited for whatever this lift you up in the air, drop you, and throwing this like
red thing,
this four-sided die. It seems like like this giant thing that it's like a crystal almost. I'm excited to see what that is. The thing I'm most intrigued by, and I'm curious whether it comes up next episode. This is my speculation. We see we see Aaron sitting in this like secluded hut situation with like a banker's like manifold almost. Or dossier, if you will. What's in the dossier? I can't think of the word dossier without thinking of UK versus the world now. Unfortunately. But and then we see Joe in a separate we see it twice where one Aaron is talking to Rob about something, and then the other one Joe is talking to what I believe it to be Aaron. And Joe is saying, so you have to, I think it was like double cross, something like that, two of your fellow contestants. And I think what the twist is if you win the deal or no deal, the next day you get like a twist or something. Which I think could be cute. But then what happens if you lose the deal or no deal? You just not get a twist.
You go home. And then
I know, but then what happens if it's like if this is the format, then I don't know.
Maybe the person whose immunity has it.
Ooh, I wouldn't mind that.
Wouldn't mind that either.
Nevertheless, I'm excited.
Me too.
I'm excited for this.
I like this show.
I'm excited for the show. I'm excited for the season. I'm excited for Kim Bettina, all of it. So, any other final thoughts, Lana?
I think we covered it. I'm just excited to see the show and ready to talk more about who's going home next.
Hopefully not Kim.
No,
Not Kim.
no,
Not Kim.
no,
Not Claudia.
nope,
Not Stephanie.
no.
That's my top 3 right now.
Cool.
Yeah.
I hope we get to see more people's story and see more about
Yes.
everybody. That's what I'm looking forward to seeing now.
Yeah, I hope it's not that thing like on Drag Race, get someone's backstory when they go home that episode. Like, I'm hopeful that that's not the trajectory that we're getting for this. Yeah, I'm like, I want to know more about Alyssa. Who is Alyssa? What's Alyssa's vibe? What's Mariah's vibe? Nick, your friend, what else is going on in your life? Jamil, I would like to know more. So I'm excited. But
I'm excited about everybody.
Yeah. But with that being said, thank you for joining us for our premiere episode of Deal or No Deal Island. Let us know what you thought about the episode in the comments. Who are you rooting for? Are you also fans of Kim Bettina like we are? Let us know. Make sure to subscribe over here. We greatly appreciate it. And make sure to subscribe to both of our other channels for Almost All Things Drag and Almost All Things Eurovision Song Contest. If you would want to become a member of the channel to get some exclusive content over there, we might be doing some reality TV refilled content over there as well that might be exclusive for members. So if you want to go join the tea room, make sure to hit the join button over on our main channel or go to Patreon. Same content, different platform. Those links will be down in the description below. While you're down in the description below, you could follow us on our social media at The Cup Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. I can put this back up now because I didn't want to block Aaron the whole time.
Absolutely.
But at The Cup Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. You could also go follow me and Lana down below. Well, and you could go get your merch, including but not limited to Cup Mug down below as well. And with all that being said, cheers.
Cheers.
I don't remember if there's a theme song for Deal or No Deal, so I don't outro this.
I don't know. Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Deal?
Bye-bye.
Deal.